Yeah, Friday. What's up, everybody? Friday morning. Welcome to today's edition of the Daily Market Commentary. We've made it to the end of the week, and we've made it to July. It's the first DMC for the month of July, so we're about to do what we do each and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We take a look at the markets from an educational perspective, identifying both breakouts and reversal opportunities in our four major markets, the S&P, the Nasdaq, gold, and crude oil, and then we're going to take a look at our stock of the day. Do me a favor, if you're new to the channel, click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get all the alerts and all the updates and all that fun jazz. And if you want, go ahead and leave a like and a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. So let's go ahead and get started with the big picture. So starting first with the big picture, we are up a little bit this morning, continuing our march higher, giving us an opportunity for an upside breakout position here above 43.18. However, we do have, in my mind, a decent little reversal area opportunity right here. Now, this would be considered a rally base followed by another rally because of this long lower wick. The reason I like this level is due to this long lower wick. This long lower wick means we traded down into here, popped up, and then based, and then rallied again. So a decent move out of that long lower wick area, I think, sets up for a pretty decent reversal trade. Looking at the Nasdaq, in our Nasdaq position yesterday, we had talked about the fact yesterday that there was an opportunity for a short at this level here. Unfortunately, it was a confirmation entry only because we had less than a 2-to-1 reward to risk, and so didn't get a fill on that position. But it actually worked out being a really strong move away from that level. We actually we used this example in our live trade room to talk about scoring trades. And this one scored a 7 out of 10, which means it was a really good level on our 15-minute chart. It was a really good level, but because we were counter trend and because it didn't quite offer a 2-to-1 reward to risk because our first target was down here, it wasn't a great setup. Not strong enough to score a 9 or a 10, which would have given us the entry on a limit entry. Did wind up getting a good move away, so it's a good example of what a good level should look like, but just unfortunately didn't pan out. So now, second time in, no surprise, we popped right through it. So now I'm going to remove that level. And, you know, looking at our 15-minute move, the last little bit, these have been awful wicky. These candlesticks are very wicky. And I don't like to mess with wicky wild candlesticks. I would prefer to stay with candlesticks that are a little bit more direct in their movement. And so we're going to take a look at this area down here for a potential reversal. Remember, I use the purple lines. I use a 15-minute marker so that if we have our 6-candle rule that comes into play, then that is going to be useful for us in our trading style. So the other market that I looked at, we looked at this on Monday, we looked at the 4 markets. I looked at the Russell on Monday. And notice the Russell has not come up and given us that same amount of strength. But I will see that there's a potential area right above here for a breakout. Next, crude oil. So looking at crude oil, we did have a move back into our little tiny area of demand and got a little move away from it. Didn't get below the last candle's low, so you may or may not have taken this. In reality, 6-candle rule probably told you this was going nowhere, and it's not a great setup at this point. I will say I think you've got a potential for a breakdown below this region because you know we're unable to put in higher highs even on a 15-minute chart, right? If I look at this on the hourly chart, we can see that, you know, the inability to put in higher highs makes it a little bit weaker of a position. So at this point, I'm going to wrap my lines around this area down here. That, to me, is your better entry. If we do indeed come back into this region, you're better off looking at this area down here. So we could, if we get basing in front of this line, I think you've got a breakdown trade down to this region here. And then gold, you know, looking at gold, there's a couple of different things for us to pay attention to in gold today. We had talked about the breakdown line below this area here. Got a little move off that breakdown, but it wasn't able to hold. And then we asked ourselves, did it start putting in a little bit of a basing pattern, right? Did we start putting in a little bit of a basing pattern right through here? Well, we are now putting in higher highs, but we still have not yet come above these highs right here. In case that we do, I think that your best resistance point or supply area is going to be up here at 1822. That's where I would look for a potential turning point, would be somewhere up in here as a place for price to as a place to get short, for price to reverse coming off of that level. Actually, you know what? I'm going to change that. I'm going to move this down. And the reason I'm moving this down is this wick right here. As I was doing that, I looked at this wick right here. And this wick right here, being an area where price hit and bounced up, tells me that I have a drop base, a very nice drop out of this level. And that actually is actually going to be a better area, a better level there at 1804. All right, so those are our big picture markets for today. As we can see that the market is continuing a little bit more on the bullish side. So look for opportunities as the day progresses. But let's also take a look at our stock of the day. And in our stock of the day, maybe we should just do it while we're doing a selfie. All right, stock of the day today is Snapchat. So, you know, if I could put filters on my face while we do this, it would be ideal. But I can't. And looking at Snapchat, so on a weekly chart, Snapchat has actually really been a strong runner. So anybody who's been involved in Snapchat for a while has been rewarded for their patience. It didn't come bounding up like a lot of stocks, but it's moved consistently, over the last few years and become a really nice, strong stock play. And so now it's sitting right below what I think could be a decent little breakout point. And looking at a breakout point here of about 70, price can definitely run a bit higher. Now, if we don't get a breakout, I think you have a decent reversal trade right there at 63.80. Even on the hourly chart, I can trim that down. And on the hourly chart, trim it down to this area right in here, 63.49 by 62.33, if indeed we do get a pullback from this breakout point. But this has been a fairly well-performing stock. I think relative to some of its competitors, it's still reasonably priced. Earnings are not great, right? Fundamentally, it's not making as much money as some of the others, but it is, turning around its fundamental story. And so I actually, I think that I have thought for years that Snapchat could be a takeover target at some point. The question is what somebody's going to want to pay for it whenever they get more monetization into it. So that's the one that I'm looking at for today. I hope that one makes some sense to you. If you guys have any questions, as always, send us an email, support@tradersarmy.com. Until Monday, everybody, I will talk to you soon. Have a happy Independence Day. Spend time with the family. See ya. Hey, thanks for joining us. If you like what we do, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's the only way the computers know that you're actually alive and really care. And go to tradersarmy.com today to learn a bit more. And if you want to see some of our other videos, click here in the box.